Everyone, Armoured PANTZ here, and I have another Advanced Blitz gaming guide for you. This one is decision making again, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, taking your gaming to the next level. Now, before we start, I just want to let you know this is a giveaway video, so there's going to be one of the 8 spooky words for Halloween contained in this video, so have a look out for it. Pop your username, your in-game name, your server and word into the comments section, and you will enter into the draw. There's 8 prizes, of course, across my channel, across Littlefinger's channel. Get over there, check it out, subscribe to him too, join his Discord. That's all you need to do to enter, and the links for all of those channels are in the description. Now back to our video. So those of you who haven't seen these videos before, they're interactive, right? So what I do is I pause the game at key decision points in the game. I ask you to pause to think about what you would do in that situation, what decision you would make. So think about that while you hit pause. You can make notes, just think about it, whatever you prefer. A little bit of homework for you. Then we rejoin the game. We look at what I did, why I did it. We can compare then, and the whole idea is that we make it interactive, and hopefully by having a little bit of homework yourself, it'll be a bit more enjoyable, but also the lessons will be easier to learn, and you'll understand the kind of the key decisions that I made in the game, why I made them, and the outcomes of those. Now, what I'm going to point out about today's game is that it's a loss, right? It's a mastery game, but I lose, right? And I think it's important that we look at these games where I lose, where people lose, because you learn a lot more sometimes from when you lose rather than when you win, right? We tend to be far less critical, far less analytical of ourselves when we win. So this is a game I'm going to lose, but you know, and there's one key decision in this game that I really make a mess out of, and that's why I lose. And we'll examine that when we get to it. But in the meantime, let's have a look at the game itself. So we've had a look at the game opening, we've had a look at the setup. Now I'm going to ask you to pause and think, okay, what first? Okay, so welcome back. So, you know, I'm in a fast-moving tank. We always say you need to know your tank to make the right decisions. So, you know, this is often called the YOLO wagon. It's fast-moving, has good reload, you know, it's as fast as a medium tank. So I decide to go towards A and support my mediums. Now, next key decision is coming up here, so I'm going to ask you to pause. Because do I go towards A, or do I perhaps sit a little bit back and support my meds going towards A? So hit pause, and I'll see you back in play, and we'll have a look at the decision that we made. Welcome back. Well, as nothing is spotted up, right, I decide to go towards a more supporting position, knowing that because of the speed of my tank, I can always move and go and support closer if need be. So I adopt this position here, see if there's any shots open, see if I can stop my meds being flanked, of course, by their meds coming past A and coming up behind them. But now, of course, nothing on, there's no shots for me, no targets, so it's decision time again. So I need to decide what I'm going to do now. So again, I'm going to ask you to hit pause and have a think about what to do now. Stay where I am, move, what would you do? Welcome back. Well, obviously I decide to move. You know, I have a fast-moving tank. I have a tank with good frontal armor, so I decide I need to get into the game to try to influence it somehow. So I'm going to go towards A. What I'm going to try to do is see if there are any targets pop up, and if not, I'm going to capture A. This is a Supremacy game. We've always said on channel, when playing Supremacy, it's always important to cap bases. You can never underestimate the importance of that. Now we see our first target coming up. So again, decision time. Should I go to engage? Should I capture A? What would you do? Welcome back. Well, I decide to go towards the target, and what it's kind of a halfway house what I'm doing here. I'm trying to capture the base using my really strong frontal armor and my really intimidating reload on my gun. See if I can capture A while at the same time engaging the enemy. Now, A is captured. Now what? Should I continue to engage the IS-7? Should I move? Should I go somewhere else? What would you do? And we're back. I guess this is a pretty simple decision, right? I can't really leave the IS-7 behind me. I have to kind of engage him. Plus, you know, I'm playing to my strengths, right? My strengths are my really strong frontal armor and my reload. So why not utilize those, push on to the IS-7. And as you can see, I'm actually able to clear him off. I take one hit, but I think, you know, clearing off the IS-7, which is a dangerous tank in their team, for the sake of taking one hit, I think is pretty good exchange. Now, another decision point. We've cleared off the IS-7. Now what? Look at the mini-map, look at your allies' dispositions across the map at the enemy, and decide what would you do now. Welcome back. Well, I mean, what I decided to do is here is, as Napoleon always said, right to the sound of the guns, right? So I know where the Reds are, I know where my allies are, so I'm going to go back across A to see if I can support my allies and be a good team player. I know there's Reds here pushing on towards A. There should be some shots opening up, so I think this was probably a good decision to make. Totally fluffed that shot. Don't ask me what happened. Russian gun handling, or the RNG gods, or maybe just bad play on my behalf. It doesn't really matter. I missed. But I'm able to redeem myself. Good shot on the BC. And, you know, in this position here, I'm able to support my allies. Now, I'm going to put a nice shot here onto the Vickers, take him out, and now we're in a 3v3 situation, right? So, just gone to 3v3. So again, key decision to be made. What should I do? Should I sit and defend A? Should I go and support my allies? Should I go towards B? What would you do? So hit pause, have a think about it, and then I'll see you back in game. Well, again, I'm following Napoleon's advice. I'm riding to the sound of the guns, so basically I'm going to support my allies. I'm going to try to engage the enemy. As I said before, you know, knowing your tank, its strengths and weaknesses is very key in this situation. Now we have a 3v2 situation, but luckily here, the speed of my tank allows me to get this shot in and clear off the BC. Now we're 2v2. Now we're coming into the end part of the game. This is the phase which is going to decide where we win or lose. So, key decision time. What would you do now at this point in the game? Have a look at the mini-map, your tank, your allies' tank, the enemy tank that are left, and have a think about it, and I'll see you back in play. Welcome back. Well, I decide to push on towards the Jagdtiger. He's the only target I see, so I want to see if I can put some damage on him and also support my ally. So I put a nice shot in him, and here's my ally here. Now, I think I had a pretty good game up until this point, but now things start to go wrong. And in actuality, I would have been better off if I was left on my own in this game. And you'll see why in a few minutes. But here you see me telling my ally to spot, because at that point I didn't know where the chaser was. Now I've seen him, I've taken a hit, right? But I get myself into a good position here, right? So I'm hiding the vulnerable bottom part of the tank. Again, so know your tank, key to decision making. And now I'm able to bounce some shots, and I'm going to be able to put shots into the Reds. Now, at this point in the game, there's some key decisions to be made, but I want you to not so much think about decisions, but think about the disposition of the Reds, the map, and what is key about my position now vis-a-vis the current tactical position of the game. So have a think about that, and we'll discuss it in a second. Well, you see the importance of capturing bases, because A is captured, right? So if they want to get to A, they have to cross me, and then they're going to take a lot of punishment, right? They can't really rush me because neither of them have turrets, right? And the Jagdtiger is quite slow moving. So I'm in a really, really strong position here, right? I can stay here and force them to either come across me, open themselves up to a lot of damage, or they have to go towards B or C to capture them. Then I know where they're going, and I can adapt my play accordingly. Now here I am telling my ally to go behind them, right? We know where they are. He can easily go around behind me, go to C, capture C, and then come up behind them, or just go behind them, whatever, right? But actually he doesn't do anything. This way I said I'd be better off being on my own here. Now, here's the problem that the Reds have, right? They can't really rush me because I'm actually up a little hill as well, right? And neither of them are fast enough really to flank, so they're always going to get into this position here where they can't get a shot at me and I can just put shots into him, right? So I'm in a really good position, and at this point in the game, I'm going to win this game, or we're going to win this game. But now here comes the problem. I am looking at the Reds and I see both of them moving their guns towards the end of the map, and I think that my ally has finally moved to engage them, but in actuality he hasn't. He did I guess feint, and I was looking at him on the minimap, but he didn't go to engage them. I moved out, I gave up my strong position, I made a really poor decision. I thought I was being a team player, but in actuality he wasn't moving, he was still sitting there behind me. I gave up a really strong position that would have allowed us to win this game, and we go on to lose it. By the way, the end of this game is quite amusing. If you, I guess, you know, you have to kind of look at the bright side of life, right? I actually kind of had a chuckle to myself when I saw the end of this game, because that's all you can do really is laugh, you know, and, you know, losing is as much part of the game as winning, as we always say, and I always try to be zen about these things, right? Now, this poor Patton, he's getting dog's abuse from people, right? And, you know, he's a really poor player, but it's because he's inexperienced. He shouldn't really be up at this tier right now. You know, one of the things that we always say, and I've made several videos about it, is that, you know, don't rush up to tiers, take your time, learn your skills, and then, you know, much more enjoy your gameplay. Now, when I was watching this, I saw him killing the chaser, and I thought, okay, well, maybe actually he had lag or something like that. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. And here, when I see him moving, I thought, okay, he's actually going to go and flank the Yag Tiger now, so we actually still might win this, right? So I thought, okay, he's going to go around behind him here, right? Try to get up behind him because the Yag Tiger has no turret. But then he just does this, and I was kind of thinking, literally, what the fuck? And yeah, he just goes and drowns himself, and that's the end of the game. And it's like, Jesus. So, you know, as I said, I would have been better off in this game if I was left on my own, because if I was left on my own, I probably wouldn't made that poor decision to leave the really strong position I had, and I probably would have won the game, either on points or I'd be clearing them off. As I said, it was a mastery game, so you can't complain too much, but it is a bit frustrating because that one poor decision I made, because I thought my ally was moving, gave up a really strong position, and, you know, lost the game accordingly. So I guess the lesson is, you know, you can play well and then you make one poor decision and you can throw away the whole game, which is what I did here. And yes, okay, you can blame your ally, but at the end of the day, he didn't force me to make that decision. He gave me a bit of a nudge maybe, but at the end of the day, I made that decision. I pushed those controls myself. My thumbs made the decision, so you have to take responsibility. But as we've said before in these videos, you know, making those poor decisions and losing games, analysing those is the key to becoming a better player, because when you analyse the decisions that you've made and the wrong ones, and you've analysed those and you're far more critical of yourself when you lose, then of course that's how I think you become a better player. And that's why I think it's important, maybe more important, to share these losing games with you, where we look at decisions that cost games rather than always looking at games where we make the right decisions and we win, right? I think that's far more important. Plus, I guess we all need to come to terms with the fact that you lose games, right? Losing is as much part of the game as winning, and we need to accept that. So anyway, I hope you found it useful, I hope you found it enjoyable, I hope that the decisions that we saw and examined in this game will help you become a better player. Because at the end of the day, there's no shame in losing, and there's nothing wrong with losing, especially if you can learn from it and become a better player. So cheers, Mush, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, I hope you found it useful, I hope you found it enjoyable, and I guess all that remains for me to say is, pants off.
That's all, folks.